the Myanmar has come out of the junta rule or military rule subsequently from 2008 constitution, 2010, and then they 2015 has a change where the National League for Democracy under the icon leader Aung San Suu Kyi, who is also known as Lady or Mother Sue, have what the party won and came to the power in 2015. So 15 to 20, they were in power for 5 years. And in these 5 years, though there was a progress towards the democracy reforms, but there was also criticism from the international community of the scholars saying that the country has not moved much forward. In spite of talking, in spite of expectation that she is one of the iconic leaders for the human rights, somewhere she is not able to move forward the political resolution on the ethnic minorities, particularly the Shan state, Kachin, and then also on the religious minority like Rohingyas or what they call as Bengali migrants. So the international community, I think, has expectation was more, but in the end on 2020, their realization was that not much progress has made. But from the NLD perspective, you say, when the army holds a 25% seat in the parliament, the army controls certain key ministries, it is not possible for the party just to dislodge the military, who is one of the important stakeholder, and to bring a reform in the next day itself. So it has to work gradually. So the expectation of the international community is mismatching with the local perception and prevailing situation. So that's what the NLD is the argument. So in this context, in the 2020, when everyone was focusing on the US election on November 2, within a week, on November 8, silently there was a election held in Myanmar. And this election has shown that the National League for Democracy is still a popular party, in spite of having a few new parties. They have won 258 seats in the lower house out of 330, 3 up from 255. And in the upper house, they have 338 from the 335, now 3 seats more. So in a sense, they have won 83% of the elected seat. But within the parliament, if you see 25% reserved for military, so if you see the 61% still the NLD enjoys in the parliament. The opposition party, Union Solidarity and Development Party, has said that they are not happy with the election, and they have even also a request for the re-election. In this context, today's discussion will focus on Myanmar as well as India. And particularly the eastern coast of India had a strong connection. Whether it is a Chetia community or Tamilians or from the Kalinga from the Odisha side, who went to Myanmar for a trade, and then the subsequent engagement has cut off. And this maritime connection is important. So there was an effort from 2015 to have Visakhapatnam to Yangon regular ship service. But unfortunately, this did not materialize because the shipment consignment to go to the Yangon or from Yangon to the Visakhapatnam did not had a regular flow, regular amount of material to be transported. So from thrice in a week, it became once in a week, then it became once in a month, and now based on the demand, it's been moving. And there is a demand from Chennai to Yangon. We need to have a regular shipping service, which is not being materialized. On the flight air connection between two countries, it's only the Thai Airways which connects Myanmar with India in a predominant way. In a smaller way, I think Air India has started from the Kolkata to the Yangon. So there is a demand that Northeast India especially, which is bordering the Myanmar. For example, from Manipur, someone, or from the Guwahati, someone from Assam want to go, they have to come to Kolkata and then go through the Bangkok. Instead of that, there should be a direct flight connection between the two countries. But if you talk to the airlines, both private and the government-owned public sector airlines in India, they say that there is no market for them. So in terms of cost-benefit analysis through the financial gain, they're thinking that the number of the person going is very less, the market is very less. So unless the Myanmar tourism picks up like Bangkok or Thailand, it is very difficult to have a direct flight from everywhere. So that's the thing, but it needs to be had. So the other argument is, unless you have a direct flight, you cannot expect people to spend more money to go through Bangkok. So there needs to be the connectivity, air connectivity. On the international communities, the role and then their engagement in Myanmar, when the junta gave power to the Democrats and then the reforms, there was expectation that the international community, particularly the Western, will come and join hands with the Myanmar, and there will be investments and then engagement. But that did not happen. What did happen is China had a subsequent investment and projects in Myanmar, whether it's on pipeline or the road, which is beautifully the laid roads, built road from Yangon to Manly, or from any sector you say there's a Chinese. The reason is the Western investment was not flowing. There was expectation that US and other Western powers will have substantial investment and there will be engagement. But they have waited for some time to see really the reforms are moving forward, and based on that they can invest. So the China, meanwhile, have utilized their own influence and then their presence as a geographical neighbor, and they have contributed immensely. The only the project which got cancelled is Mistom Dam project because of the protest from the people, and the junta government or the the military-backed government of USDP has said, yes, if the people are unhappy, we will not go over to the. So still China is important. That's why I think NLD victory, as well as the Dawn Aung San Suu Kyi statement says that they are not going to move away from China, and they keep their engagement with China, as well as along with the China, they also have engagement with all the powers, including India. So there will be independent foreign policy, which is determined by the economic interest of the country. So for the economic development, any country in India's neighborhood who have aspiration to develop the country needs some money. And the money is now given only by Chinese without having much the conditions. The only thing the men and material come from China, project will be given to Chinese companies. So for the economic development, unless the Western countries contributes, you cannot see a change or the Myanmar going pro-West. Because in spite of the Aung San Suu Kyi studied at Oxford University, there was expectation that West will play more role, but it did not happen. So the China is going to be there. And Thailand is doing a business in a very silent way through Sand State. And after China, you see Thailand's presence are there. And then third, you can see India. The India's image is slightly not good after the Caledon project, which was delayed for much more than they expected. And also, sometimes you see that Myanmar, the people says that their expectation or even the oil which were discovered in the Sidbay region, first offered to India. India did not come forward, so we have to go to China. So there is a perception within the country that India needs to do much more than what it does today. So if you are able to going to match that, I think India is going to be a relevant player. But unless we don't do that, we cannot expect. So there's also a restriction from Indian side to invest and to take a project like China. The economic progress, the growth is not that where we have a leverage or luxury to support the neighbors in a much more way on the economic development. And finally, on the Rohingyas issue, the Rohingyas, what we call today, who went from Bangladesh 200 years back or 1,000 years back, there's a question of debate when they went and who are they. The local Myanmar believes they are the Bengali migrants. So they say that these are the people who, quote unquote, they believe are polluting the culture of the local Myanmar culture. So there was not much support on the human rights violation or any issue that has been highlighted related to Rohingyas. So because of this, the image of Myanmar has been shown very bad in the international level because there was expectation that Aung San Suu Kyi will do much more when she came to power, but she could not do it. And as I said, there's a restriction or compulsion for her to go with the army in Myanmar politics. Otherwise, she will be and her party will be dislodged, and there can be tomorrow military rule. So she doesn't want to take military head to head, it seems. So in this context, what is important is whether the international community, including India, can replace China in being a development aid provider, or the person who can do project. Two, how the local government, including the NLD, are going to address the ethnic issues. Whether they can accommodate, they can move forward with a political the resolution is a second one. And third, how the ethnic groups themselves, with the NLD coming, how they are going to align themselves. If you see the NLDs in the candidate list, some of them, or a majority of them also, you can see from the ethnic minorities. They themselves, NLD has given a seat to them. So their election and being in parliament as a policy maker makes a difference. So it needs to see how they are going to take up in a negotiation to have an equitable, justified political resolution in Myanmar is a third important thing holds for the future of Myanmar. So with this,